What's up? What's up? Welcome to the Stat Guy Show, episode number 4. As you can see, I got David Gates Jr. sitting here. What's up, man?
What's up, man? Proud to be a part of it. Number 4. Which means I'm
Hell yeah, man. Thank you. Thank you for coming on, man. Big fan of yours. So I want to get right into it right away, man.
Can you hear me good on here?
What's that?
Can you hear me good? I ain't used to this audio technical stuff, shit.
Yeah, I can hear you pretty good. Okay. I can hear you. I mean, it won't hurt if you lean in a little bit, but I can hear you pretty good right now.
All right.
Can you see the comments?
I can't see them.
When we get to that point, I'll just post them on the video for you.
All right.
So what's up, Dave? So what are you working on right now? What's the off season going like?
Man, the off season's being busy. We've been looking forward to it. We all say we want to go home and not race, but we really want to be racing. It's been good. We got the car tore down. I had a good conversation today with Adam. He's got the car up in Chicago. We're doing some pretty good changes to it this year, and hopefully it all comes out. And when we come out, we're going to be kicking ass, man. That's what we want to do. I say that every time, and I go back and watch the show, and a lot of the drivers watch the show and say, man, I don't really want to say this or say that. And I said a lot of things that I don't, want to change. I'm not really a TV star or somebody that's live a lot. So, I just, I say what's on my mind, but we're doing a lot of changes this year. We're gonna, last year I went through 3 different chassis and drove all 3 of them during NPK, and we're gonna this year hopefully stay in the same one and come out and prove a point. Being the second year and give it hell.
Hell yeah! So how is it? This is your first. How is it watching yourself on TV? Are you one of those guys that watch every episode and critique what you're saying? Stuff like that.
No, I don't critique what I say because I say some dumb shit, man. But like I come out, I was thinking about here, me and Swanstrom, I seen he's been running and, doing all the gym stuff. And I was going to run in here like I've been to the gym and crack me up with Corona and be like I'd been to the gym and drank me Corona. But, I don't critique what I say. I say it if it's on my mind. I just say it and do it. And I am who I am. I can't change that. I can't change the TV. You can't skip what you want me to say or nothing else because ain't no telling what's going to come out of my mouth.
Right. I think that's why myself, including a lot of other people, enjoy watching you on the show because you can tell it's real, man. And talking with the other drivers, especially about Kai, about you, you can just tell you're a real dude and what you're not playing a character on TV at all. It's just David Gates.
I can't play nobody. My girlfriend, she wrote me a note and said, "Hey, watch your mouth. There's going to be kids watching." And so I'm looking at that note. I'm like, yeah, I'm watching that, but it's hard to get me to say something that, I am who I am. It's me every day. And, he's right. Everybody gets to Kai and David like we're, whatever. But, we do that. And it's me. You can't filter me. You can't skip me. You can't tell me what you want me to say because I'm probably not going to say it the way you want me to say it. I'm just going to do what I do.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I do like winning.
Yeah.
I like to win. And I'm serious about it.
For the people that don't know, before you got on the Street Outlaws show, what kind of racing were you doing?
Man, I mainly done a lot of small tire racing. I raced with a bunch of guys, done small tire racing with my Mustang that I've done for, years. I got into it with some guys. The guys worked with me, and I done small tire, no prep. I went to radio racing and done some radio racing, no time stuff. Really enjoyed it. And, I wanted to, I like the no prep. I've never really been a radio guy because, I've always said you run your shit all out and blow it up and, fix it and wait a month and race again and spend everything you got. And, I try to not do that. And that's what kind of got me in the small tire no prep. I've done a lot of small tire no prep with a good group of guys. And, we kind of built a little family. And me and Kai got to be good buddies. And, I joined up with Team Nola. Probably the best move I ever made in my drag racing career, getting with Team Nola. Those guys, I've known them for years. They opened their arms to me, and I came in, and they seen I was a hard worker, and, like Jerry Bird, he's one of my good friends now on the team, and we talk all the time. He called me today, him and Daryl, and, he's like, man, when I first met you, I didn't like you. You was an asshole. He's like, but I really didn't know you, and I was like, I'm not an asshole. Me and Jerry were tight now, but he didn't really know the real me. He just seen the racing part of the small tire, and when I'm racing, I try to be a serious contender, when I'm there. What a lot of people say when I'm at the show. They're like, man, you just try to be all business all the time. But it is business to me. And when I'm there for one thing, and that's to win.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Was Fast in America your first time being on Street Outlaws?
Well, I ran fastest in America in 2020 with another team. I ran with the Black Sheep Mafia in 2020 with those guys. And, you know, I kind of knew some of the other ones. And then when I joined up with Kai, I ran the America's List this year in January, or last year in 22. I ran America's List with them. And that's when I joined up and ran America's List. And, you know, it's been full force ever since. I feel like last year until May, I think, was the first weekend that I had home all year, it seemed like.
Let's talk about America's List. That was season 2. It didn't quite start as you and Kai had planned, did it?
No, it didn't, man. We came out, you know, I wasn't even on the list. Me and Kai was in Texas deer hunting, and got a call and wanted to know would I be interested in racing my way in, and because we had done some preliminary stuff for the in-game show we was working on, and I said, yeah, man. Well, my Mustang was tore down in the shop, and much as I love deer hunting, and Kai does too, and everybody else, I was like, yeah, man, I'll be an alternate. And I was like, when we got to be there? And they said like 7 days. So we left deer hunting, drove straight home, put the rear end under the car, went up here and tested a little street, a local track close by at Prescott, you know, and they was real good to us, and we made some hits up there, and off to Texas we went, and with a car that was being tore down to go to the chassis shop to get redone. And so we got down there kind of unprepared, and I mean, there was the race your way in, and I either had to get in or I didn't get in.
Right, and you got in. You did pretty well, I would say. How was your experience with that? Because that was the big boys on the street, right? I mean, that was
you know,
fast you're gonna get on big tires.
You know, when I went into the big tire deal, the only other time I'd ran big tires was you know, when we done the America's List or the Fast in America in 2020, and so we swapped the car back to big tire and went and tested it, and we still had some issues, and we had a meeting, and there was some rules back and forth and some arguing and stuff, and ended up the rules was that we could drive any car on race your way in, and then I know that's what it's going to get to, and then once you got in the show, you had to drive the car that you brought and started with it. And so that night we ended up testing, and you know, down there and testing, we didn't have any streets we could test on. It's real outlaw testing, and you know, street outlaw stuff. And we went out and tested illegally, and I crashed the car, and which wasn't what we planned on doing. I mean, that's like Kai's lifelong car, and it, you know, he even said himself, you know, it wasn't my fault, and it was, you know, Adam looked at the data and it's like, you know, I'm sitting there second guessing everything I've done, and
right,
and you know, we went back and looked, and I mean, down there in South Texas, the dew would fall at night, and we kind of went through some stuff and went back out the next night, and that happened at like 4:30 in the morning, and Kai made me go to a little hospital, and I told him I was in a side-by-side wreck, and he was calling a helicopter or something. I don't know, a bunch of shit that he came up with, and made me go. And I went up there, and I was a paramedic before, and I didn't go through the whole deal. I didn't have time because 10 hours later I had to race my way in on the streets, and took my Mustang. And you know, at first I was like, this is stupid, I'm going home, you know. But we took the Mustang, and the deal with Kai was I had to go back, and he went and got the showstopper, and I raced my way in, man, and got in the big show with the Mustang.
Oh yeah. Did you have the showstopper at that point in time?
No, I had my Mustang, the red rum car.
Yep.
That was on big tires, and he was in his shocker car for the streets. We were street racing down there, and the showstopper was actually at home without a motor in it, and he went home and got it and brought it back after I wrecked the shocker, and we put a motor in on the side of the road, and I raced my way in my Mustang, and you know, that wasn't ready for it, and we fought through it. And you know, I was thankful when I'm down there with those guys. I mean, man, when you talk about street outlaws and the guys on the streets, and you look down there, and I'm looking at the 25 people that made the list, you know, we raced for 5 spots. They had 20 that was already in, and we had to race for 5 spots. And I was looking at the list, and I was like, man, this is people I've watched my whole life, you know, racing and
Yeah.
looked up to. And here I am. I made the list, you know, in the top 25 with them. And, you know, I was humbled. I had tears, and we had emotional stuff, and we went through a whole lot, you know. And we made the list, and we done a lot of racing, and we come out pretty good. And, you know, I'm ready for them to do another one of those shows, because now I do have the showstopper car, and I had it before the NPK season, but I didn't have it then. I was in my Mustang.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in a short amount of time, you've been on like almost all the shows, you know. Did you get a chance to go to we don't have to talk about what happened, obviously, but did you get a chance to go to Mega Cash Days or the newest season of Fast in America? Did you film for both of those?
Yes, I did. I went to Fast in America with Team Nola, and I went to Mega Cash Days. I got invited to Mega Cash Days, and I ran both of those.
And you were on the Mustang for both of those?
I did. I ran the
Nice.
Mustang, and I ran the Mustang for Mega Cash Days. First, we did America's List. I mean, the Fastest in America we done, and then we ended up going to Mega Cash Days and finishing the Fastest in America. I ran the
Nice.
Mustang both times, and we fought it a lot. You know, we done some changes in there, going back to small tire, back to the on that car. And that car, the Mustang was really built. That car specifically, I had 2 Mustangs, and I sold one of them. A lot of people ask that question. I had 2 identical ones, and I sold one of the small tire cars to a guy here that's local, a friend of mine, and he races it now, and he changed it up some. But I kept my big tire when it would swap back and forth to big tire and small tire, but it really was a big tire car. And we put it back on smalls when they changed some of the rules up. You know, we went back to the small tire stuff, and you know, I'm still making changes because, like I said, I like to win, and I'm going to do what it takes. And if I'm invited to the next shows, you know, we're going to have some different outcomes, I believe.
Yeah, definitely. How so was it because of America's List that you got? How did you get invited to do No Prep Kings? This was your first year. How'd
I
you get
done
that
No
call?
Prep Kings. I started last year talking with them about No Prep Kings, and No Prep Kings has been a dream to me. And I had ran a bunch of stuff with them, and you know, I'm a fan guy. I'm not a I'm not a not a TV star. I feel like I do good with the fans. There's some that stay pissed off at me, and you know, but it's just because I'm real with them. You know, I mean, I run my own valves on my car. I do all my, you know, my maintenance at the track. I don't have my team that comes with me. They do the other stuff, but you know, I try to include everybody that comes up and wants a handshake or an autograph. It's an honor to me, man, because I'm just a construction worker that works hard and got a good crew, and you know, been fortunate and got some good friends. And you know, I started last year talking about getting a big tire car to run NPK, and during the off season when we was doing some of the other stuff, in game show and stuff that I helped Kyle with because he can't well worth shit, and doing some things, we ended up making a deal, and I was getting the showstopper car from him, and he was having a new shocker built for NPK already. And a lot of people got that confused, but he was having a new shocker built for NPK to go back to what his brand was.
Yep.
And you know, when it come NPK season, I had told him that I would come and run it, and I started in the futures race. They brought me in the futures race, and we had a great producer. And like I said, I heard Dave and mentioned it. Mike was my producer, and we lost him, and I was like losing a brother. But he was really good, and he just kept telling me, he's like, David, you got what we need, you know, because you're a racer, you can drive, you got a lot of drive, and you got a great team. And he really pushed me to be the better person, and so that's what I strived on, you know. And then I went to NPK, and when it got within a month of season, we figured out Kyle's new car wasn't going to be ready. I made a business decision and just told him, hey man, keep the showstopper car, drive it, and Pat loaned me the aftershock car. So I drove it, went to the first futures race and won it in Florida. Went down there, and man, to be honest with you, I didn't have intentions of going down there or expectations of winning the race. I wanted to go be a contender. And I went down and won the race and really done good. And it all come pretty natural, because I wanted to show people that we really are a real contender in this series. And we had a lot of feedback, a lot of positive feedback, and we had 2 weeks off. I got into the Invitational because I won it, and I had proved myself on the streets with the America's list by racing my way in, finishing in the top 20 in that. That's the fastest in the world on the streets, with that show.
Yep.
And I got moved up, and I drove the aftershock car that, we ended up changing to my color scheme after a couple of races, and done some chassis stuff to it, raced it for the first half of the season up until we had the break in July. And that was we done decent. My goal was to be consistent, learn the system, show people we're a contender, show the fans that I really cared and we're a hard-working team, and then just, return the car back to Mr. Pat and all in one piece, and that's what we did.
Yeah. No, you had a great year, man. You finished 14th in points this year for your first season. I mean, I think you're the only guy who raced 3 different cars in a year. If I can think about that correctly.
Raced 3 different chassis. Like I said, we got a great tuner and a great team, and me and Kai, we shared a lot of data, and we went to when we had to split in the year, I was really excited, because I was like, look, I'm gonna get to come back in my car, and the car is a contender. It's a good chassis. But my motor and transmission, a lot of people didn't realize, but my motor and transmission was in the aftershock car. So in the off season, or not the off season because we didn't get one, but the break in July or June, I put my motor and transmission in the showstopper car, and we got Kai's new car together, and we went to Tulsa. We had an unfortunate incident there, and our tuner, Adam, that's like our brains of our operation, he had a family deal that he couldn't make it. So here I am, the old redneck, putting the motor and transmission in the car and making sure all the wiring was right. Kai had a brand new car. We went out and ran them, and we done decent. But, to be in that car right off the bat, I was a little let down, and we found out that just a little difference in the computer system in mine and the aftershock car. We ran like 3 or 4 races, down on time in like 4 degrees before we figured it out. And that's not, that's not acceptable on our part, but we found it. And then we started being a real contender towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
And, I felt like we was making some moves and some waves, and man, the car just feels comfortable. It feels like, feels a lot better to me. And I was glad to be in it. And, then we swapped over, and we can get into that later. But that was, I think I drove it. I had 4 or 5 races in it before we swapped back again. So I did drive 3 different chassis this year in NPK, and I felt like I was a contender every time that I was up there.
Yeah, for sure. You definitely were. You just hit on that. So talk about that conversation that I'm guessing Kai had with you about switching cars for the last couple of races.
Well, it actually wasn't Kai. It was my idea. We went to I believe it was Rockingham, it was Rockingham that we ran. I can't remember exactly, man. It's been a lot of stuff come and go, but Rockingham we went, and I went to the quarterfinals, and I know one of the fans today wanted me to say the guy's name, Giuseppe Gentile. I don't know how to say his last name. He's a nice guy. He's from California.
Yeah.
He had a nice car, but that Giuseppe guy, I ran him in Rockingham, and my parachute cables had came out. One parachute cable come out, and Kai's like, man, you dumbass, you pulled the parachutes at 60 foot. And I was like, hell no, I didn't either. And like, we got to looking, and then what we had done, the chute cables, which is not an excuse, from the paint shop, were zip tied in from the sides. Well, on this, when they came back, they cut the zip ties, and they were in from the bottom.
Oh wow.
Nobody really caught it. Whenever I ran him and left on him, we went into a little tire shake, and the right parachute shook out, and I didn't know, and the car got a little loose, and Giuseppe beat me. And but that weekend in Rockingham was my fastest passes and personal fastest runs that we had made, and the car was really hauling ass. And I mean, that car's, it's everybody's like, why can't Gates win with it if Kai won with it? But we changed motors, changed transmissions, changed combinations. It's basically the chassis. And we got it dialed in the past 2 races before that, and it really was making moves, and we ran some really fast times in the car. So we came home from North Carolina, and we had, actually, I left my car in Alabama because we had Steele in Texas left, and Kai was within, I don't know, 60 points if I remember right, coming into Alabama of Ryan. And I'm a team player, and I came in my office Monday morning and I called Kai and I was like, man, I want to talk to you about something. He's like, what is it, Gates? What have you done? There ain't no telling what the hell you done, And I was like, nah, man, it's not nothing like that. I didn't do nothing crazy. I was like, the car's running the fastest times. We know that. We've proven that. We compare the data. The car's faster than the shocker car, and you're still figuring it out. And I want to offer you my car for the final 2 races to try to win a championship for Team Nola. And he's like, man, you're crazy. You're just now doing good with it, And I said, no, that's what I want to do. I said, but it's up to you if you want me to drive yours, because last time I drove a shocker, I was upside down in the ditch 6 times. But that's your shit and my shit. But I'm offering you mine because it is more competitive. And
Yeah.
if it fits the rules and we can swap, I want you to win the race and try to or win and try to win the championship, because that's the kind of guy I am. A lot of people don't see that, but that's what I do for him because he's done a lot for me in my career. And a lot of people think we're assholes, but really we're not, and we want to win. And I wanted the Team Nola to win the championship. So I offered him my car, and he accepted. And so we went to Alabama. I left a little bit early, and we swapped motors and transmissions back, put it back in the chassis, and he went out and done really well with it. And I got in the shocker car that was, at that race in Alabama, I think I made it to the 3rd round, and I ran Kayla. And 2nd or 3rd round, I can't remember. I ran Kayla, and Kayla's a great contender and a great racer. And when I went to the line, the car didn't leave. Well, the switch went out on the switch panel, and the car is brand new. It went out, and if I'd have happened to Kyle, the championship would have been over, and he ended up taking my car and going on to the finals. To me, yeah, it cost me a few spots in the points. I was trying to get in the top 10, with 3 different chassis, which is hard to do. But to see him go on and get to the finals with the car, that meant a lot to me, as a team player, and that's what I wanted to happen. And like I said, that one little switch that went out would have cost him the championship, and it wouldn't even have been a race going into the
Right. I'll say that's the definition of a team player, David. I mean, that's going above and beyond for sure, man. And for you to race 3 different cars and still finish 14th in points in a really strong competitive field. I mean, every year it gets faster, right? Every year the field gets faster. It gets harder to get even race your way in. Some guys can't even race their way in every week. Talk about the competition from this past year and how fast everybody really is.
Man, the competition's unbelievable. I mean, when you go out here and you're running these guys, you got from 1 to 32 is fast. The race your way in guys are fast. I raced my way in since I was in Florida as a futures, and I won that race. I didn't get to run the first race and win the first round for the qualifier to go into the second one. So the first race I went to, I was a race your way in guy. And I don't care if you're in futures, if you're in the invitational, what you're running out there, outlaw big tire. People say outlaw big tire. These guys are fast, and everybody you see at the track puts in work. I mean, I went and tested. I drove all night long to test in Tulsa and drive back to work the next morning for meetings. And you see, I mean, when I pull up at the track to test, there's 5 cars they're testing, getting ready to go to Idaho. I mean, these guys are fast. And when I say fast, there's literally very little. If I had to guess, you're running 2/10 difference in the whole field. And that's tough when you got that many people.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know that for a fact because people, I'm sure there's going to be internet people get on there and say, man, how do you know that? I don't know that shit. I'm just going off what I run, and I watch the guys, and they're fast and they work hard. And the top, one memorable race for me the whole year, and when I won the ice cream off Disco up in when we was at the home of the ice cream track, when he called me out and I beat him in the grudge race and then beat him in the first round of eliminations to double up on the ice cream. He didn't ever bring my ice cream, but he's going to. I mean, you can tell Dean's going to keep the ice cream around, big as he is. But those guys accepted me in as like one of the people that's there. I was, I'm kind of a shy guy at first, and so I get to know people. And man, when you're standing amongst I know people say, man, you keep saying legends. When you're standing again amongst the legends that really are that started this stuff, that's put their whole life into it, it's humbling,
Yeah.
and you if you can't be humbled by that and you think you're better than those guys that's done it, you don't belong coming racing with us, because these guys have really put their heart and soul and family time, away from families, and they've done something great that everybody in the United States is watching, in Australia. I mean, as you can see, all over the world, they're watching this No Prep King stuff, and Street Outlaws and Mega Cash Days and Fastest in America. Everything that Discovery's put together, they took a bunch of racers that was street racing people, and they've done really well with it. And the fans have really, they really are supportive. And you got some fans that are serious about their people, and their favorite drivers, and I have a lot. I've got a lot of favorite ones. One of my favorite races of the year, I got two that I remember really well, or three. One of them was Disco for the ice cream. I've watched Disco for years. He got the pink Cadillac. Anybody drives a pink Cadillac and they'll put Kings, they got to be pretty crazy, And then I ran Sean Murder Nova, and I've watched him since I was young, and I got a lot of respect for the man. And the first time I ever met him, and was around him, he like treated me like I was one of them, and I was like, man, that's kind of cool, because he didn't have to. And I raced him when we was out there in North Carolina, the one I'm talking about, where the car was really running well. And that was when he blowed up against me, and I thought he was on fire. And as a driver, whenever we passed and I seen he was on fire, we just seen Robin have the bad wreck, and I was on my radio. I was like, somebody get down here to him. He's on fire, because fire is really the only thing that scares me in these race cars. Is, you can't get away from it. And then me and Kai in a grudge race, when I ran him in the shocker car and me in my new car against him, it was cool to kick his ass in his old car to his new car. So
hell yeah,
he don't like to talk about that, but I do. But the competition's great, man. Ryan and them, everybody sets the Ryan, the bar, but people can say, man, Ryan's got the money or Ryan's got the sponsorships. I got a couple of sponsors that are coming on board, but Ryan works hard every week. He tests, he's researching. Hobby's a one-man crew man that, man, he works his butt off. All these guys work, and when you see what they really put into it and then still are able to interact with the fans and do what they do, it's impressive to me. And I am humbled to be a part of that group and to be out there for the fans, really.
Cool, man. Let's fast forward to season 6, No Prep Kings. So 2 questions for you. One, what car are you running? Are you going to run Showstopper? And more importantly, what's going to be underneath the hood of Showstopper?
Well, that's the $1 million question.
It is.
Yes, Showstopper is in Adam's shop in Chicago as we speak. So everybody that's asked where the car is, it is my car. I will be driving it this year, full season, unless something crazy happens. I knock the front end off of it, which is possible, which I hope it don't happen. I will be in that car from first race of the year, which we announced, I think 6 days ago. We'll be in Norwalk.
No, Hebron.
Hebron, yeah. One of the Ohio's. I get lost. We go to all these different ones.
Yeah.
The South Ohio one is Hebron, or Hebron, however you say it.
Yeah.
I will be in that car in Hebron, and I will be in that car for every race of this season. And being in that car, I'm not swapping. Kai's doing his own stuff, whatever he's doing with his car to make it better. But I felt like I've been a teammate, and I've sacrificed this year as a rookie and finishing top in the 14th spot. I hear all these people claiming rookie of the year, and I think John Odom was awarded rookie of the year by several different people, and he's a good friend of mine. John's a good friend of mine. Texted me today. We talked on the phone. But technically, John was in the Invitational last year with a GTR that wasn't, in the I say the year 21 he was in the Invitational, and it was in a GTR, but it wasn't capable of a big tire running. He was in the Invitational and not running a competitive car. Last year was my true rookie year in the Invitational in any car.
Yeah.
I finished 14th, and I finished ahead of a lot of guys that's been doing it for many years. They get paid to do it. That's got sponsors all over the world, and I finished 14th spot. I probably could have finished higher if I would have kept my car for the past two races, or the final two races of the year, or if I would have started in my car. It may have been a different story, but to finish 14th for a guy that's never run a nitrous car before in my life, I've always been a turbo guy before. First year in a nitrous car, my good buddy KY told me the first time he come to Florida, he was like, "Damn, Gates, you are crazy." And he's like, "You got right in a nitrous car and went out here and won the futures, and that's just this year. I'm looking forward to it. I will be in the showstopper car for every race of the year, all the way through the year. I'm not giving Kai my car to run. If he sucks, he's just gonna suck on his own. And I love him like my brother. We do hunt together and fish together and all that. But he ain't getting my damn car this year.
Gotcha. Hell yeah. So the big talk every year, and is really big this year because of how close the competition was at the end of the year. Do you think there should be any changes at all, or much changes at all to any of the combinations coming in as far as weight?
Yeah, I do. And that's my personal opinion. And I talked to some of the guys that's they're doing different rules committees, and these guys call me because, like I said, I work every day. I had a guy ask me on Facebook, "Man, how do you make this travel and work?" I don't sleep a lot, and I drive a lot, and I make the races, and I still come back and work, and work every day of the week that I can, and try to keep people happy. But I do feel like there's some rule changes that should take place. What they are ain't up to me. They hand them down to me. I'm going to go by them, and I ain't going to bitch about them. I'm going to race my race, and if they tell me whatever it is, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to work hard, and I'm going to prove my combos to be competitive. And I think that personally, I would have just said it's going to be easy. We're going to add 100 pounds across the board to every combination out there. And every person I've told that to is like, "Man, don't tell them that. We don't want to hear that. We don't want to see that." Well, add it to me, add it to every one of them out there, and let's get it. Let's bring them to the water box, and whoever gets to the end wins. And
yeah,
I'm not one of these going to sit around and go, "Man, this one needs 5 pounds because he's got a 13-inch wheel or a 16-inch wheel." I don't care about that shit, man. Let's just get them. For one, I was a nitrous car this year, and my base weight was 2,500 pounds. In the rules, that's everybody can see that. In 22, the rules are 2,500 pound base weight. Man, look at me. I'm trying to work out. I'm trying to do better, and I've lost some weight. I've lost 70 pounds. I've gained some back in the off season from Dos Equis and deer hunting, but I'm starting my diet back to get back down to race weight. But in a car that we're going as fast as we're going in, there's very few that can get to 2,500 pounds in a nitrous car. And everybody says, "Well, pro mods and this and that." We're not pro mods. Everybody says, "Yeah, you got a pro mod car. We're still rooting quarters on it." Whatever you want to call it. if you want to keep the safety stuff, and I'm big on safety, I've argued with people about this. This is my biggest argument. You'll never see me race where I don't have my proper safety gear on. I don't have my proper safety stuff. I don't have my proper certifications. I don't have my shoes. I don't do none of that stuff because I've been involved in some wrecks in my drag racing career, and it's work. So you can't take the stuff that we get and get to 2,500 pounds. I know there's some that'll tell you can. I mean, yeah, I could go in and cut some bars out and change some stuff in the cars and get down to 2,500 pounds. I had an hour-long conversation with Adam today where my car's at right now as we speak, and he's looking at stuff to try to get weight out of the car. I mean, Kai's had the car for 2 years now, and they never got it down to that weight. I mean, we'll get close, but Kai, he likes to eat cheeseburgers like me. But you can, I mean, you take Lizzie. Lizzie's got a nitrous car, and she's 120 pounds, and she can't get to base weight just all the way, you know, with the safety stuff that we need. And I mean, like this year, she had an unfortunate incident, and the safety stuff paid off for her and kept her able to race in, you know, the next race. And I'm thankful because she's a dear friend of ours, and I just don't see you getting those weights down that low and keeping the safety ratings like we have with steel roof and quarters. But that's my opinion about it. The blower cars, the screw blower cars, I don't even know their weights. If you told me right now you give me $1 million to tell you what their base weight's got to be, I have no idea. The only weight I do know was this year we had an incident where Will Hoyt was overweight at the scale.
Oh yeah.
You know, that kind of blowed the internet up, but you know, that's one of them deals. I ain't, you know, I'm just saying this. If you forget something, just tell me, you know, or whatever. I'm not going to be an ass, but if you intentionally try to add weight, then I'm going to call your ass out on it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
To make a base weight. Because, I mean, pounds and horsepower make ET in mile per hour. And I couldn't tell you the base weights of a blower car, a turbo car, none of that stuff. But I feel like that some of them do have an advantage. And to be honest with you, the screw blower combo at the end of the year, when they figured the combos out, they were faster. I mean, yeah. I ran Jim Howe. Jim Howe beat me, and I can't remember what race it is, but me and Jim raced, and Jim's a good competitor, and he works hard too, and he figured his combo out. They got a lot of horsepower, and Jim, I made a really good run against Jim. And Jim drove out of my life to the point I want to just make a peanut butter sandwich and pull over at the end because he made me feel stupid. But is it because he worked hard or whatever? Yes, they do work hard, and they're a good, hard-working team, but they figured the combos out, and they make a lot of power, and I feel like there should be some weight added to all of us. It's all about parity to me, or however you say that word. I want everybody to be equal, where it's a tuner, surface, and a driver. It ain't about what motor combo you run, whatever you choose. I want it to be everybody can be equal, and we go out there and we race, and everybody's got a chance. Because if you don't, and everybody don't have a chance, a lot of people's going to quit coming and quit showing up. And you know, Ryan, you know, everybody says Ryan, but Ryan's figured it out, and he's won 2 different combos, I think. Turbo's the first year, Pro Charger the next 2 years. And like I said, people say, man, Ryan does this and Ryan does it. No, Ryan works his ass off, and that's a fact. And he does have the means to go out and test a lot more than some of us do, but he's fast. I mean, and I outrun a bunch of Pro Charger cars this year. Right. And I never drew Ryan, thank God. But, you know, I just think that you know, there should be some weight added and some stuff changed a little bit. I really do believe that. But, man, am I going to sit here and bitch about it? No. Am I going to say that we need to add this or do that? Man, I don't care. Let's go drag racing. You know what I mean? Tell us what you want us to do. Let's go out there and figure it out. And if I can't figure it out, then I don't deserve to be there. And if I don't deserve to win, I just don't win.
Right. Hell yeah. So what's your preparation look like for the upcoming season? I mean, with the schedule and the expenses and sponsorship, I mean, there's really no off season, right? You are just hustling the whole time to prepare for this long. You guys are not gonna have very many weeks off either this year, It looks like.
No, we're not. You know, they got the Australia deal going on, and that kind of pushed the start of NPK back. And the Australian fans have been great. I mean, I've gotten my messenger box. Are you coming? Are you coming? Are you coming? No, I'm not coming. But one reason is I got to be here to work, you know, and I'm preparing and I'm going to test. Me and Adam talked about some races that are not NPK that we're going to try to run to go out and get some data and just do some appearances that people want us to do. But we don't get a lot of off time. This is the biggest off time that I've had since I started this. And when I started this off season, I told Adam and Kai that whatever changes we're going to make, I want to make them now. And I want to get everything right. So when it comes June, I think 2nd, and I got a map right here. I'm trying to figure out what miles, June 2nd and 3rd.
Yep.
June 2nd and 3rd gets here. When I leave here on June the 1st and drive all the way through the night, they always tell me I'm the last one there because I work all day and then drive all night to get there. When I get there, that when I unload my car, that I know my shit's right. And that's what I'm going to do. And we're doing a bunch of changes. And I know there's been questions after questions. I am putting fuel tech in the car. Adam's got it right now. It's been a lot of questions about that. I'm taking all the other stuff out. Adam's fuel tech wants to come on board and help out some. No, I'm not getting it free. Everybody wants to know, can I get them free stuff? I paid for it, but they want me to come on board and run their stuff. And I was a fuel tech guy from the turbo days. And I, being the dumb guy I am, like when I was trying to figure out how to turn this camera on to talk to you, I can run fuel tech, and I feel like right now it's probably the best stuff out there to run. And they really are. Their customer service is really good, and it's real user friendly for even rednecks like me. And I am putting fuel tech in the showstopper car. I'm clarifying that in the showstopper car, they will have fuel tech, and that's what electronics I'll be running this year.
Nice. If you want, David, we'll take a couple of questions from the people watching right now.
Yep.
I'll put them up. I don't know if you can't see the comments, so I'll put them up on the screen when they come up.
Yeah, I don't know how to work this thing. Y'all bear with me. I don't know if anybody said any bad stuff or whatever. I can't see it, so.
No, it's fine. You're good. You're good. I got a couple other questions while I'm waiting here. Is there anybody so far in your short Street Outlaws life, is there anybody that you've established kind of a rivalry with?
Man, I wouldn't say that I got any rivalries with anybody. You know, there at that one race, I kind of was pissed off when Sean Wilhoit tried to put the extra weight in the battery chargers and the air compressors and the crew guy's shoes and everything in the car. And that aggravated me because I felt like he was, you know, just trying to outright cheat me. And he apologized afterwards and said that he knew that he wasn't right doing whatever he did. I mean, basically, I feel like he probably left some ballast out of the car by accident and made the run, and the car was light. And I told him later, if he'd have just said, hey, man, I made a mistake, you know what I mean, and left the weight out. But when I seen the obvious stuff going on at the scales, because I scale, I'm so up on my data that I come home and study at night that I weigh if I lose or I win, not because my competitor may not make weight. I put it in a log so that next time I know exactly to the pound what my car weighed when I made that pass. And I can go back and me and Adam can go over it. And when I seen the obvious stuff, it really pissed me off. And the next race when we got to Bowling Green, I called him out and said, you know, it's the only call out I had all year, $1,000 grudge race. And I sold my kids lunch money, food and stuff, and gathered up enough money in case I lost it, but I beat him and collected the money. And I was aggravated. And because I'm an easygoing guy, but if I get hot-headed, I get hot-headed. And he aggravated me with that deal. But after that, Sean's been the nicest guy. He told Adam, you know, he should have never done it. He told me he should have never done it. And I don't think he done it intentionally at the time when he made the run. And what was crazy about the run is we both shook. We both was all over the track. We both was pedaling. And people said, well, man, you should have just let him win the race. And well, he got to the end first, but at the same time, I felt like that started a little rivalry with me. And then when I called him out, some of his teammates jumped up. Yeah, we're taking it. Yeah, what do you want to bet for? You know, what do you want to do? And then I beat him. And then I figured the next race I was going to get called out again by him. And he didn't call me out. And I'm fine with that because, you know, Sean's a good guy and he works hard too. And his program, he's got a good program and he's trying to get better just like all of us are. And so as far as a rivalry, I don't have nobody that's a rivalry with me that I just don't like, because anybody that's there can tell you that if they come to my pits and ask for a part and I had it, I gave it to them. And if I went to their pits, they gave it to me. So as far as somebody that I don't like or that I don't get along with, my pit's always open. My trailer's open. Me and Justin Swanstrom, you know, used to, when I met Justin Swanstrom at PRI 2 years ago, I thought he was the biggest asshole in the world, and I couldn't stand it. Now we talk on the phone all the time, you know, and he really is good at what he does. He's got a good fan base, and he goes, I'm not a marketing guy. I'm not an internet guy that knows how to get all these followers and make money off of stuff on the internet. So no, at first I'd have said me and Justin was going to be a rivalry. When I got to the deal, I told Kyle that. I was like, I don't think I can get along with that guy because we both got dominant personalities. And then after that, man, oh, really? So Kyle Kelly says I'm going to get off that. He's going to donkey gap showstopper.
Yeah.
Kyle, how about me and you run first race of the year, first round of grudge for double the bet that we have who's going to be the lightest on the scales, being me and you on the hoof on the track, first pair down. And we'll see if you donkey stomp us.
Oh, that's good stuff right there.
Yeah, me and Kai's got a little side bet. Yeah, I've gained a little weight in off season. And he says he's going to be lighter than me. So we got a bet that the first NPK race we're getting on the scales bare hoof, and we're going to see who the lightest is, and whoever's the lightest gets the money. So we'll double that up, Kai. Since you're going to lose that because you can't quit eating all them cheeseburgers on the first pass down the road, down the street or the track, grudge racing, right off the trailer. First pair down, and we'll see who got donkey gaps who. Yeah, he told me he went down and seen his new car. His stuff he's changing to the shocker car or whatever he's doing. Mm-hmm. He said that the shocker car told him, said, man, we're going to beat the shit out of Gates this year. So we're going to see about that. But ask Kai who's got the personal best in the shocker car last two races. I ran a faster time in it than he ran the whole year.
Nice. Hell yeah.
But no, as far as rivalries, I don't have any. I like all the guys. They like me, and I don't have a problem with any of them.
So there's been a lot of questions. Apparently they missed what you said earlier. But they want to know, a bunch of you want to know what power adder you're running in Showstopper next year.
Man, that's been a big talk on the internet on the power adder. And I'll just go ahead, since you invited me on to be the fourth person of your show, and that's really an honor to me. I'm going to tell the internet exactly what will be in Showstopper next year.
Hell yeah, breaking news. This is breaking news here.
Breaking news. Showstopper will be a 959 nitrous motor.
All right.
It will have a Mark Mickey transmission in it with Fuel Tech electronics in the Showstopper that is black on top and red on the bottom. And Kai Kelly will get to see both shoots out just like he did before in the first pass down the grudge race in Ohio. So y'all be ready.
Hell yeah, man. That's awesome.
Yep. It will be a nitrous car. It's going to stay a nitrous car. I love nitrous. I'd never run it before, but I really enjoyed it this year. I've learned a lot about the motors. Me and my crew, my guys bring it here, a bunch of guys you know, that's really, they've never worked on race cars, and we bring it in the shop down here, and in our off time, we rebuild the motor, we freshen it up ourselves. We done, you know, we put pistons and rings in it every so many passes, and it will be a nitrous car this year, 110%, and it will be ready to go come June the 2nd and 3rd. And I plan on coming and winning and kicking his ass.
And you're gonna race one car all year, right? This one this year.
I won this year. And like I said, you know, this team deal, I've been on Team Nola, and they've been great to me. And everybody, like we say, when we turn the bulbs on, I said it whenever I raced one of the guys on the team. When we turn the bulbs on, we're enemies. When we get to the end of the track, we're going to hug each other and tell each other we love each other, and glad we got the cars to the other end. Because, you know, I've been there when there's been some bad incidents and stuff, and you never know what's going to take place because we're going really fast in some really sketchy conditions. And, you know, hey, that's why you got to be right with the man upstairs, because we do some dangerous stuff to put on a show for the crowd. And I look forward to it, but it will be a nitrous car this year. It will have 959 in it, and I'm ready to be over there clearing that thing out and turning the nitrous bottles on to kick some ass.
Hell yeah. It sounds like there won't be too many of you nitrous guys out there this year, from what I've been seeing online and stuff.
No, I've been seeing they're changing. I'm not going to comment on what Kai's going to. I think he's going to what they call them, 2RZs or 2JZs or whatever they are, the little small import motors or something. I don't know I can't even spell what he's doing. I can't keep up with him. But no, I'm not going to do what everybody says that my daddy Kai is going to tell me to do, or none of that. I'm going to prove this year that, you know, I am a team player when it comes to helping my teammates and doing what I got to do. I'm not laying down for nobody, and I'm not going to change motor combos. I'm staying nitrous. I think me, Jerry, is the two nitrous cars that I know for sure are the only two that's going to be nitrous this year, because I talked to Jerry and Daryl. I know they're going to be nitrous, and I don't feel like I'm releasing something that they ain't already released.
Right.
And we will be nitrous, and man, we're going to be just a few of us that are. I don't know who else will be. I don't know who else is crazy enough to try it. You know, I mean, I can tell you that, you know, Kai, I mean, he's a jackass, but he'd spent a lot of time with nitrous, is what he's known his whole life. And, you know, he's finished second, I think, the past 2 years with a nitrous car. And, I mean, he had people like me that were being his buddy and letting him borrow the faster car to run the nitrous car with. But I hope to come out and show them that nitrous can win. And we know they can win. Nitrous has already won some events. It ain't all this stuff about who won the first screw blower race or who won the first turbo race. But I will tell you that I feel like this year when I come out, I got 100% confidence that one of those No Prep Kings trophies will be sitting right back over there by that fox that's wearing my Crown Royal and beanie cap back there.
Hell yeah, man! You get me all pumped up with these little speeches you're talking, man.
That's what I'm doing. I'm not big on change. I've changed a lot. You know, I think there's a song that talks about going through some things. I've been through a lot of things in my life, and I feel like right now I've got a lot of people behind me. I've got sponsors that are calling me, and I've never had a sponsor really that stood behind me in anything. And hell, I've never went even out and asked for them. You know what I mean? Because I've never even had nothing that people say, man, I want to go with that guy, and, you know, him represent my brand. And I had a conversation with a guy yesterday. He's kind of the same thing. And this sweatshirt I just happen to have on, this Hostility clothing company guy out of California. He's like me. He was just a hardworking guy that started a t-shirt deal. And he's like, man, you know, I want to help you out, but I don't have a lot of stuff to give you. But and he makes some really cool shit. And I'm going to run his stuff. And I feel like that right now, whoever wants to get on board, I hope, you know, people say I'm cocky or whatever, like Kid Rock says, but I'm not. I'm a humble guy. A lot of people say, man, did he even talk on the TV show? Did he even say anything? I mean, they edit a bunch of stuff out we do, and that's one of the things I have to watch, is because I just say what the hell's on my mind, like I told you. But this year I'm coming out. I ain't there to make no friends. I got like 3, I think, friends, and that's really all I need. And I
Yeah.
don't, sometimes I wonder, but I'm coming out this year to prove that this Red Room racing team with Team Nola, that we're going to come out and kick some ass. And I've said it before. I look back at my interviews whenever they interview me, and I always say, well, I'm going to go out there and kick their ass, and then I get my ass kicked. But if you don't have that mindset when you get in one of these cars and go out there and strap in and fire up and go down that track, you don't even need to be there, because if you don't think you can win, you don't need to race. And I tell the junior dragster guys, I had a long conversation with a kid up at Prescott Raceway that was a really good kid. He come up, man, and he was all like amazed to meet me, and I'm like, man, I'm amazed to meet you. I mean, I like what you're doing. Your family's out here, they're racing and they're doing whatever they do. And I don't I see what they do as a kid that's 8 years old, getting in a junior dragster going down the track. That means a lot to me, to see them do that. And I want to go out and prove to those kids that I'm here to show them, that it can be done, and to keep working hard and stay in school and keep your grades up. And I do talk a lot and say a lot of stupid stuff, and I have to watch what I say and what I do. But I mean, these kids that are out here and doing this stuff and growing up and racing and doing what they love, that's what you got to do. And you stay in school and get your grades, and people will see you and recognize you. And I feel like that not me. I just get to drive the car and work on the car, and my team that travels with me and is away from family and sacrifices and does what they do. They're the real heroes, and the fans that fill these stands every weekend. When I was a kid growing up at NHRA racing, and that was my only family vacation that we ever went on, was going to NHRA and racing Enos. And for me to be able to go out there and race a car at NHRA race, I mean at the NHRA track in Enos, and be in the NPK, I feel like that you can accomplish anything. I feel like I won a Super Bowl.
Hell
So
yeah.
Just keep your goals set. And this year I feel like I'm gonna show what I can do, and people are gonna recognize. And I'm here to represent whoever wants to be with me. And like I said, I'm just an old country boy that's a construction worker that's done everything I can to race, and I'm gonna continue to do it with the people that help me.
Cool, man. Well, I tell you what, man, you got me excited for you this upcoming season. That's for sure. I don't want to keep you all night. You got things to do. First of all, thank you so much for coming on the show. I've been a fan of yours. I think keep being you, man. That's what the fans like. That's what I like about you on the TV show, man, is because you're real. Like you say whatever is on your mind. So keep doing that, man. I wish you luck next year. And thank you again for coming on the show.
I appreciate what you do, man, because I'll be honest with you, when we finish these races, we're looking for your stats to come up to see where we're at and what's going on. And are there any other crazy comments you want to discuss before we get off here? You done got me in a talking mood now.
I was seeing some. None of them are really. I went down this road with Dave the other night, and it got a little bit crazy. There was a question about what you do for your full-time job that you can get away from work all the time to do the NPK schedule.
I own a general construction business in South Arkansas, and I got a lot of good managers and that stay here and take care of my business, and they work hard with me. I got good customers that stay with me, and like I said, when I do travel for the NPK schedule, I leave on Thursday at the latest, and I go to the races, and then Sunday, whenever I'm tearing down, I drive home every race, come home, and I work Monday through Thursday at the best I can, and manage my people, and my people support me in what we do. My customers support me in what we do, and it's just a dream. And without a good work staff and a good work ethic and proving myself and being in business for as long as I have, it wouldn't be possible. But it is tough to be away, and it's tough to travel, and especially not being a paid guy to go do this stuff and on a lot of things. Like I said, there's been discoveries made it possible for a lot of people, and I won't take that away from them. You earn your spot, and they'll take care of you because you take care of them. And and the fans get to see it, and the TV people get to see it, and you make a good show because it's a TV show, and people see you, and you sell your merchandise and sell your different things. Like I said, I tell every one of my fans, if it wasn't for my fans, I couldn't do it. When my fans come up and want to sit in the car or want me to sign something, I always try to make time for every single one of them because I can't do it without them.
Right. For sure, man. For sure.
Anything else crazy?
No, nothing too crazy. I wanted to ask you actually. Now that I think about it, but did you play any sports in high school? I heard a rumor that you might have played some baseball or something like that.
I did. I played baseball all the way from when I was a little kid all the way through high school, and I was a second baseman. I did get a college offer to go to college to play baseball.
Nice.
I held a home run record at my high school for a long time. Don't know if it's still holding, but I did hold the home run deal there. And that's the only sport I played. I played basketball, and then I played soccer. And soccer, I kicked it in the wrong goal when I was like 7, and I quit that game. So, but baseball, I did play. I excelled in baseball, done really well. Like I said, had a college offer, but I didn't have a wealthy family or nothing else. And my dad told me, he said, best thing you can do is get you a job or go to get you a trade. And I went to college and got a 2-year degree and worked through college. And my grandmother, she helped raise me, and I lived with her until I was old enough to do anything. And I went out and got a job and just made right choices and tried to do good things in life. But I did play baseball, and I was a great baseball player in my eyes, and I really enjoyed it. But I didn't stay with it. Like I said, I could have went to college and played it, but I had to go to work and try to make a living, and that's what I did.
Nice. I heard that because I'm a football guy. I've always been a football guy, so it's interesting when I talk to other people about the drivers, and see if you guys play some sports in high school or what. And I had heard you were a pretty good baseball player back in the day.
Yeah, I'm a baseball player, and we throw a football. We have a lot of competitions late at night, throwing balls in the trash cans at the track with the fans and different things. And I can throw a football. I can't throw it far as Swanson can, but I did play sports, and I played baseball, and we still enjoy it. My kids play softball, and they really enjoy it. And but I'm competitive, and that's what I tell them. If you're not any good, we ain't gonna play. But we're not gonna be there and just everybody get a trophy.
Right.
But I did play baseball, and I had a lot of fun with it, and racing was a lot of fun to me, and just being out there and enjoying it. And I hope I can continue to do it and stay healthy and race for a long time and be a part of it. I feel like I had a guy tell me on some of the comments one time that we're not the fastest racers in the world, but we're not the fastest, but I feel like in the NPK races, we're probably the best racers in the world because we not only work on our cars and drive our cars and do all that, we spend the time with the fans that a lot of organizations don't do. And I'm just honored to be a part of it. I'm honored that the fans that we got, and like this, when you message me, it's really an honor, and I appreciate it. And like I said, my phone number's on there, my website's on there, my Facebook's on there. Anybody got any questions, want to call and talk to me, I'm open anytime, and I'll do whatever. And I challenge anybody to a little baseball throw every now and then sometimes, even though I didn't back Swanson.
Well, cool, man. Again, thank you so much.
I was interested in football. Did you play high school football?
Yeah, I played in high school and college, and I played semi-pro for 10 years.
That's cool. I had a son, not my son, but I had a guy that I call him my son. When he was in the 9th grade, I started really taking a liking to him, and he didn't have a father figure in his life, and I stepped in and kind of took him under my wing. And he, matter of fact, he called me today, but I helped raise him, and he went on to play college football at the University of Arkansas and got a degree, and he's here coaching, and I feel like that's a great part, and that's how I got into watching football. So I really like it, but I don't follow it like I used to because drag racing takes up all my time now.
I know what you mean, man. I'm the same way. I don't really watch it much anymore, honestly.
But I appreciate what you having me on here. I appreciate the fans. I appreciate the people that are involved. I appreciate Discovery, everybody that allows us to do what we do. this year, you know, I'm not going to be the quiet guy that I like to draw out the bucket last, and people say I don't talk, but I do talk a lot, and I feel like I probably need to shut up tonight. But I'm here. I got my website, my messages. Do whatever you want to do. Give me a holler, a shout out. Follow our page, share our page, and share this guy's page. He really does good. And if you want to know any stats, any round wins, he does it all. And like I said, the first guy to the race when I leave that I look up is your page to see where we're at in the points, because you really do great. And every racer does appreciate what you do.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for coming on the show, David.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man.
All right. Have a good night.
You too.